The fearful day is almost here. Let's take a look. But before we do, a little disclaimer. Please note that some details may be subject to changes or may not have been included just yet. Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So Fearful Day is almost here. So we got some little promo artwork that was given to us to be able to share with you guys. And yes, it does say play now, but we will be able to play the Fearful Day DLC on Wednesday, May 28th. And here we sort of get this little sneak peek at our friend Mogo. So this is sort of what Mogo looks like, but this is only like a very small section of Mogo. And here we can see it will involve Jon Stewart and the evil Monster. People have been asking for a Green Lantern DLC for quite some time, and now here we are. For this one, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. We'll find out soon enough. So they do say play now, but again, it's going to be available only on Wednesday, May 28th. 2025. So here you can see they mentioned that Monster is launching a full-scale invasion with Guardians and Yellow Lanterns. So we know that the setting will be on Mogo, and you will have to be level 20 or above in order to be able to play the DLC. So here they are talking about a 4-player alert protecting Mogo, but there will be a whole bunch of solo missions in the open world. There will be a solo mission in the on-duty menu, a raid, and an alert. And there will be various rewards, so the inner currency will be Mogo Berries, there will be some new augments, some new exobytes, some new catalyst, and some new gear inspired by Guardians, and the Indigo Lantern Luzia Cavalera, also known as the Evil Reckoning, and of course new feats, collections, and more. So here we can see the style on the male character, and yes, the emblem on the forehead is upside down. I didn't mention it, so they should fix it in the future hotfix. Is it going to be fixed before the DLC goes live? Is it going to be fixed after the DLC goes live? I have no idea. We'll find out all together on Wednesday. So you can see the style in this here is the enhanced version of the style. It's a nice enough style, and you can see there's some nice textures, and there's some extra colors on the enhanced version of the style. For example, the wrap around the hands and the feet I have only one color on the regular version, and here you can see there's two colors, and there's even some sort of gradation also on the style. And here you can see the regular version in the armory. So I gave the very same color to both styles, and you can see the difference between the two. And there will be two items in this DLC. There will be some sort of huge bracers. Damn, those are huge. So there will be some huge bracers that your character will be able to wear. Not sure what those are inspired from, but dang did they make them big. And there's also going to be a back piece. The back piece is inspired by the evil Guardians. We already had a sort of similar back piece, but here we have a, let's say, a newer version. And once you have the style with one of your characters, then you will be able to use replay badges to purchase the style for your alternate characters. So example, for the Reborn style, it will cost you 4 replay badges. And for the Guardian styles, it will cost you 35 replay badges. And sadly, there will be 35 replay badges for each pieces of the style. For the Reborn style, obviously, it will be 4 replay badges for each pieces of the style. So here you can see the female version. Somehow the emblem on the female version on the headpiece is fine. So it seems to be only the male version that seems to have an issue. At first, when I saw the male version upside down, I thought they had made like a new sort of stylized 7 emblem. Only to realize that, oopsie, it was the Legion emblem upside down. Here I didn't take any chances. I'm using the Blue Lantern emblem just to be on the safe side. As it turns out, the emblem was fine. So again, here you can see the style on the female version. We kind of sort of already had seen the style on the NPC, but here we are. And here we have the Omnipotence items. Again, holy crap, did they make those bracers big. So these are the coordinate bracers and the coordinate back piece. So these are going to be the Omnipotence items. So this time they gave us 2 Omnipotence items, and you will have to upgrade both items. If you want to, of course. So I did mention there's going to be a whole bunch of solo missions in the open world. And there's going to be also some weekly group missions. But there will also be some on-duty missions. So there will be a solo, an alert, and a raid. But in the on-duty menu, there will also be some flashback missions. So here we will get the Flashback Strike Team 4 players alert, and the Flashback Assault and Battery 8 players alert. So it would seem that the flashback missions will be available only when the DLC is the latest DLC. So I guess the flashback mission we have in the Day of Reckoning DLC will probably no longer be available starting on Wednesday. Although you can always go back and play the version from the Sins of Black Adam DLC, and here it's the same. So the flashback version of those missions will be available while this is the latest episode, but afterwards, the flashback missions will not be available anymore. You will have to go back and play the original version of those missions in the on-duty menu. Originally, these missions came from the War of Light DLCs. And of course, we will have the Fearful Day event, which will last from May 28, 2025, all the way to June 24, 2025. And like previous events, once you do complete the event, you will get various rewards. In this case, the rewards are the Elite Henchman Uplink Device, Owen Tactical Assault. There will be a 60 pack of Mogo Berries. I don't know why they say 60 pack of Mogo Berries. You get 60 Mogo Berries, and you get 10 Ultimate Tactical Mod Capsule. At least this way it does give people access to the Ultimate Tactical Mod Capsules without having to purchase them from the marketplace. And of course, we have the Owen Tactical Assault Henchmen. Let's take a look at them Henchmen. So as we summon them, it does summon 2 Green Lanterns and a Blue Lantern. So you can see them over here. They do last for quite a while, so I'm not going to show the entire duration. We're going to skip a little bit. But in a nutshell, you will summon 2 Green Lantern and 1 Blue Lantern that will help you in battle. Although these are not like the other Elite Henchmen that we did get before. They do not heal you. They give you Raging Knight, which gives you like a 10% extra damage for 10 seconds. So here you can see in the description, so Raging Knight, the cooldown is 30 seconds, the buff duration is 10 seconds, and the final damage boost is 10%. So you will get a boost of 10% for 10 seconds, every 30 seconds or so. And they do mention that the buff can affect the pets and the owner, so I could see those being used for a pet build. I'm a bit sad because my pet character is a Dr. Fate character, he's not a Green Lantern character. We're gonna have to try it out. So let us try out those henchmen in battle. Personally, I don't think they're as good as the Hazmat Henchmen, the Elite Hazmat Henchmen we got not too long ago. Even with the 10% extra damage, I would say that they don't do as much damage, and also they don't heal the same way that the Elite Hazmat Henchman does. Like the Elite Hazmat Henchman, if you're missing a healer in your group, they work quite a bit almost as a substitute healer for a bit. So it seems that they will give us different Elite Henchmen over time, and those Elite Henchmen will have different abilities depending on which type of Henchman it is. So in this case, they've decided to make them make not quite as much damage as the Hazmat Henchmen, but they gave them the Raging Knight ability, and of course, I can already see some people that will try to create a pet build around those henchmen. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see for that. I have to admit, I will probably try to experiment with that myself. We shall see. So you can see the 3 henchmen are pretty much attacking in long-range attacks. And even the Blue Lantern is also attacking.
You will surrender. Yeah. I have no fear.
And our henchmen are gone. I'm so sad now. So let's get out of battle so you can get a rough idea of how much damage they do by themselves. Obviously, that doesn't take into account the Raging Knight ability. Like, we're gonna have to try it out. Once they do hit the live server, we're gonna have to try it out and see how much damage does that really mean. The fact that they do give us 10% extra damage, we'll have to wait and see for that. I'm going to try that on the live server because sadly sometimes between the test server and the live server there are quite a few changes that are made. Sometimes things don't behave quite the same way on the live server, so there's no point in me trying it out on the test server only then to end up on the live server with maybe the damage will be different, maybe the stats will be different. So I will wait until the henchmen are added to the live server before doing more experimentation with them. And the one thing that everyone was waiting for the 2 new artifact slots. Now, obviously, as usual, the devs are like the evil monkey's paw. So yes, they are giving us 5 artifacts, but they are giving a cap to the stats of those artifacts. So the cap of the artifacts will be 15% max. So even if you do have 5 artifacts, sadly you will not get extra stats, or not a lot of extra stats from those artifacts. So people who thought that having 5 artifacts would make our character too powerful, at least stat-wise, it's going to be pretty much the same thing, because we are going to be capped at 15%. And here you can see the 5 mighty artifacts in the inventory window. And in artifacts, we will get a brand new artifact, the Sinestro's Carotid Lantern Ring. So we'll get a ring from the evil Sinestro. So the artifact will be good for DPS and controllers. So the DPS will get the Avatar Will, and the controllers will get the Avatar Fear ability. I find this a little bit backward. I would have given the evil aggressive Yellow Lanterns the DPS ability, and I would have given the good Green Lanterns the controller ability. Oh well, doesn't really matter. So for the Avatar of Fear, it will do a bit of damage, of extra damage, but it will also give power back, and it will give some supercharge back. For the Avatar of Will, it will create an explosion that does extra damage. So let's try a little artifact in battle. I did try to activate it outside of battle, and it did not want to work somehow. I don't know if you have to be in battle and then activate a power to activate the avatar, to summon the avatar, or maybe I was just unlucky. But it does seem to appear as soon as you use a superpower, but you have to be in combat, it seems. And then you can see the explosion appearing once in a while, like the green explosion that does a bit of extra damage. So here you see the Avatar of Will. That's a nice enough animation. Ah, and it's gone. So at the start of the battle, pretty much as soon as you use a superpower, it does summon the Avatar. And it does last quite a bit, and then there's a bit of a cooldown. So you don't always have the Avatar, but you have it often enough. I was quite surprised by that. I'm attacking with my weapons so that we can actually see the green explosion when it happens. If I start using powers and there's a whole bunch of visual effects, it's going to be hard to see the explosion. So it does give you sort of an idea of how often the explosion seems to happen and do a bit of extra damage. And if you do play a Green Lantern character, it will give you an extra Green Lantern effect for your Green Lantern character. Obviously, if you don't play a Green Lantern character, you will still get the visual effects. Sadly, there's no escaping it. And if you play it as a controller, or if you play as an evil Yellow Lantern, so you can see, as you try to activate the ability outside of battle, it just doesn't happen. And even in battle, it'll take a few tries before it actually does trigger. Like, I think you have to give power to someone, so in this case you have to give power to yourself in order to be able to trigger the ability. One of the drawback, though, as you can see, it does summon a pretty big yellow head on your character. If you play as an evil Yellow Lantern, it might fit with the theme of your character, but I can see some players who maybe will not be happy with that effect, because there are players who work very, very hard to be able to customize the look of their characters, to be able to get a very specific look with their characters, and this will kind of mess it up, at least a little bit. But for controllers, so you will be able to do a little bit of extra damage thanks to it, and also it will give a bit of power, and it will recharge the supercharge, at least a little bit. Again, I will experiment with the artifacts a little bit more once it gets added to the live server, because again, once more, sadly sometimes when items are on the test server, when they get added to the live server, things are a little bit different. So I don't want to waste too much time using the artifact on the test server, only to find out that once it gets added to the live server, maybe it could be changed. So I will wait for the artifact to be on the live server before doing some more experimentation with it. But here we go, so it gives you an idea of what the artifact will do, and also of the visual effects that do come with the artifact. And one more thing that I should mention, there will be a marketplace sale and a 2-time Fearful Day Renown. So from May 28th to June 2nd, enjoy a boost with the 2-time Fearful Day Renown and a 2-time drops on Green Lantern Civil Corps Commendations. And there will be a 20% discount in the Fortified tab on the marketplace. So there we go, guys. So the Fearful Day DLC is almost live. It will be live on May 28, 2025. So if you've been waiting and waiting for a New Lantern DLC, just wait a little bit longer.